FM in Cincinnati. WAIF, as your community radio station, serves only to open its airwaves to responsible, divergent points of view. The opinions expressed on this program do not reflect those of WAIF, its staff, board of trustees, other programmers, anybody but myself or Taper Jesse, or any particular guest we have in for the evening. Thanks again for joining me. I'm Ramblin' Rob. We have Taper Jesse in studio. He's bringing in some vinyl, so he's running a little behind, but he'll be in here momentarily to entertain you and tell you all kinds of interesting things that you've been begging for him to tell you. Okay, we have a good show for you. I'm going to be doing, well, it's kind of a hodgepodge show because I've got so many different things I've got on my plate that I'm just going to try to play as much music tonight as possible, not do a lot of yakking, not do a lot of rambling, etc., etc. So, with that being said, you can find more information on my program, The Greatest Story Ever Told, on Facebook. Look me up, Ramblin' Rob. And also check out my YouTube channel. I have about 260 some old shows uploaded for you guys, so definitely want to check that out. Also, check out Ramblin' Rob's Greatest Story Ever Told official Facebook page. Okay, I am going to start off tonight with a little bit of Dark Star Orchestra. Also have some David Gans on the plate and some weird stuff. Got some local bands. Got a band coming around here in a couple weeks down at Stanley's. Also got some Cryptological on the plate. A song about one of my good buddies, my pals, Mr. Sasquatch himself, the feet of large Mr. Bigfoot. So we'll be getting to that a little bit later. Don't want to get too serious on here. We always try to keep a little light-hearted angle. So by request, we're going to shoot out to Sarah and Christine. A little Dark Star Orchestra. This weekend is the Jubilee. This is from 2017. A little DSO to kick things off. Not the Grateful Dead, but the next best thing.
I walked through the tall tree, crawling at your window. I said, you're blooming like a rainbow. I'm coming on the sweet day. I'm right outside and I can't see the morning sunshine. I said, sunshine, baby. Sunshine, baby. I'm coming on the sweet day. I said, sunshine, baby.
From February 24th, 2017. Little Dark Star Orchestra going out to Sarah and Christine. A little Sugar Mag. They're going up to the Dark Star Jubilee this weekend, as are a lot of my friends. Hope everybody has a good, safe trip up there. Ramblin' Rob would like to do a let's make it 60 seconds. A 60-second PSA going out to all the hippies on the road to the Dark Star Orchestra. A couple rules to remember, gentlemen and ladies. That will make your life not only easier, it will make your weekend much more enjoyable. Number 1, it's a holiday weekend. There's cops everywhere. Obey traffic laws. Number 2, make sure your vehicle is in full operational status. Check your signals, your lights, your brake lights. Don't give a cop a reason to pull you over. Number 3, don't ride dirty. Don't bring a bunch of illegal things to the show that you know the cops might be interested in, because they will find it. Save that stuff for when you get there. Believe me, all kinds of stuff on lot. Anyway, and always remember that it's like fishing. The cops are like fishermen and you are a fish. And they go where the fish are. And of course, right there, real close to the venue, a high concentration of hippies. I've seen 14 cops within 3 miles of that place on one road. So be careful, kids. Another rule you want to remember is if you have long hair or dreadlocks, put that stuff up in your hat. Do not get caught with that. Not to say that cops profiling, but I have a background in criminal justice, and I once heard a police officer, and this was in the late 80s, police officer from actually Los Angeles on the LAPD. We were talking, and he said there is a very fine line between racial or profiling, as in, because it was at the height of the gangs out there in LA, between profiling and good police work. Because basically he said if you look like you're doing something shady, chances are you're doing something shady. So don't look like you're doing something shady when you're driving down the road. If you have stickers on your vehicle, take them off. Get a razor blade, scrape that off. You can buy new stickers after you get to the show. Also keep your car clean. Don't make it look like, it's a dirty hippie mobile and it's driving up to a show. Make it look like Joe from the suburbs bringing his family to soccer practice. And I guess lastly, just, be cool. That's it. That's my rules. Oh, I forgot one more. Do not look like you're camping. If you have camping equipment, don't put it on top of your vehicle or pile it up near the windows. Do the stealth. Go in stealth mode. You want to look like everybody else. You don't want to look like someone going to a music festival. You want to look like everybody else on the road. Okay, that was my PSA. Also, underwriting spots are available. WAIF883.org is where you can find out information on underwriting and memberships. It's how we keep on the air. So WAIF883.org is where you find us. $25 is all we ask. If you have less than that, we will take that. If you have more than that, of course, we will take that also. We're not proud or particular. We just enjoy bringing you this eclectic mix that we like to call WAIF. Well, I'm going to finish up my show that I had rolling last week. Did not get through it all. 1969 is the year. April is the month. 5 is the day. Place, Avalon Ballroom. San Francisco, California. So we're going to play the last couple tunes. They're going to roll out with It's a Sin into Alligator, jaw-dropping Alligator, I might add. And then, of course, finish out, since you're in that early 1969 era, that great show closer from the Pindar family, We Bid You Good Night. But first, because one of my buddies, one of my pals, David Gans, will be in town next month on July 15th. He'll be down at Stanley's Pub playing a free show. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is free. Come on down and see him. And not only that, he is bringing Scott Cardner along, too, who's in a couple different bands, who's actually been in studios. He's been, I think, 2 or 3 different bands in studio, Hickory Robot, I think, being the last one. But an excellent mandolin player, an excellent picker all around. So go check them out. They're only there for 2 hours between 6 and 8 p.m. down at Stanley's. So you definitely want to check that out. Real hot picker. And, of course, David Gans, who I like to call the Benjamin Franklin of the Grateful Dead. He's kind of one of those guys that's seen it all, done it all. He is an excellent musician also. And we're going to find out here if that's true. If that is a true statement. Of course it is. I said it. But this is David Gans off his latest album, Drop the Bone. We're going to kick it off with a little bit of his newer stuff. I like playing a lot of his older stuff, but this one is off his latest album. Doing the tune, covering, well, I think you know who he's covering it. I think it's Willie. But doing a little Poncho and Lefty. Real cool tune.
Living on the road, my friend, was gonna keep you free and clean. Now you wear your skin like iron, your breath's as hard as kerosene. Weren't your mama's only boy, but her favorite one insane. She began to cry when you said goodbye and sank into your dreams. Poncho's a bandit boys, his horse was fast as polished steel. He wore his gun outside his pants for all the honest world to fear. Poncho met his match, you know, in the desert down in Mexico. Nobody heard his dying word. Oh, that's the way it goes. All the federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him slip away. Lefty, he can't sing the blues all night long like he used to. The dust that Poncho bit down south ended up in Lefty's mouth. Day they laid poor Poncho low. Lefty split for Ohio, where he got the bread to go. out of kindness, I suppose. Poets tell how Pancho fell, left his living in a cheap hotel. Desert's quiet and Cleveland's cold, so the story ends, we're told. Pancho needs your prayers, it's true, but save a few for Lefty too. He only did what he had to do. Now he's growing old. All the federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him slip away. Kindness, I suppose. A few gray federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him go so long. Out of kindness, I suppose.
This isn't being recorded, is it?
And now, another episode of Annoying Stoner.
Hey, I got some great weed here, man. It's really, really good. Come on, guys. Come over here.
Light it up.
All
man.
right.
It's cool.
Here, try this. It's really, it's
Yeah.
Arkansas green. Isn't that nice? Isn't that tasty?
Boy.
I remember the first time I tried weed like this, guys, just so you know,
That is good.
was in 1972 in Anaheim.
Yeah.
The Dead were playing at the Dome.
He's not going to pass the joint. He's just going to hold it.
He
He's just going
just
to hold
can't.
it.
He keeps smoking and holding,
They
and
did
he's not
New
sharing.
Speedway Boogie.
The Dead is so over. The Grateful Dead are so over.
It's like
and
Jerry's dead. Okay, face it, he's
dead.
dead. He's
but then
gone,
my
he's
friend
dead,
handed me
he's
this
buried.
acid.
This isn't really
They
fair.
went
You know,
into Act
Mr. Happy
2.
Hippie Boy, and he doesn't even know how to
Act
share a
2 was
joint.
so intense
Listen to
because
you.
they started
when are you
out
gonna
with a
start sharing some of
14-minute
this
version of
pot?
trucking.
What do you think? You're smoking by
Give us some
yourself?
pot.
What?
Pass the joint.
Yeah.
Pass the,
You have to hear about
pass the
this.
damn
No,
joint.
shush
No,
and
no, this
pass.
is so intense.
Pass the
They
joint
Always have to be
already,
center
dude.
stage.
No,
Pass it.
no,
This has been
no,
another
this is
episode
so
of
cool, man.
Annoying Stoner.
When that
Pass
part
the
happens in
joint.
the light show with the little bears are like dancing around like those little bears from the auto store, you know? Well, they're like dancing around, and my friend hands me the acid, and he said,
I know it's wrong. Things I do, the way that I mistreat you, and I know it's a sin. It's a sin. My baby watch me from the side, then she was and cried. But I know, it's a sin. It's a sin. baby told me from the start. She said, darling, you breaking my heart. Oh, I know it's a sin. It's a sin. What do you want to hear that'll last for 10 minutes? We got 10 minutes left.
These people are hippies. They are occupying a piece of ground in San Francisco's Golden Gate Park, which has come to be called Hippie Hill. They represent a new form of social rebellion. They dress in bizarre and colorful ways. They wear their hair long. Their very name suggests that they are hip, on to something good. They all declare themselves rebels against our society. They like music. The word love is used by them a lot.
Take a quick, oh yes I will. I'll check it around and some more kind of chick, oh Lord. Oh no, well I've been there before, and I'm not coming back around. There's no more who don't know. ugly and green came the biggest old alligator that I've ever seen. Cheap picking morning and his eyes were bugging out. Contracted a union, put the beggars to round now. Screaming and yelling he was picking up his old child. We never run, it just stumbles and hops now. Just out of prison on $6 a day, yeah. Bumbling bitches, wagging his tail.
If I were to ask you what your philosophy of life or your creed, what would that be?
Have a good time all the time. That's my philosophy, Marty.
Lay down, my dear brother. Lay down and take your rest. I want you to lay your head upon your Savior's breast. I love you, but Jesus loves you the best. And I bid you good night, good night, good night. And I bid you good night, good night, good night. Lay down, my dear brothers, lay down and take your rest. I want you to lay your head upon your Savior's breast. I love you, oh, but Jesus loves you the best. And I bid you good night, good night, good night. And I bid you good night, good night, good night. Oh, and I bid you good night, a good night, good night. And I bid you good night, a good night, well, eat all the children, but not and I bid you good night, a good night, I remember right well, good night, good night, good night. Good night, good night, good night, good night. Lay down, my dear brothers, lay down and take your rest. I want you to lay your head upon your Savior's breast. I love you, oh, but Jesus loves you the best. And I bid you good night, good night, good night. And I bid you good night, good night, good night. And I bid you good night, good night, good night.
Ooh, wrapping up a great show there from the Avalon Ballroom in 1969. That was the Grateful Dead, April 5th. Jesse, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing fantastic. How you doing, Rob?
Not too bad. Always enjoy a good and we bid you good night. But Jesse and I were just sitting here discussing how sometimes when the Grateful Dead play, it's a melodic nightmare.
Oh yeah,
on multiple levels.
Yeah.
Just
Sometimes
depends on the night.
Sometimes sonic perfection doesn't lend itself to the overall sound you're going for. You know?
Exactly.
Some things need to be a little.
And I've heard a couple
muddy.
people refer to this. One of them, I said, well, they were talking about the Grateful Dead and their music, and then I listened to all these different shows, and then he said it's kind of like mining for gold. Sometimes you strike it rich, and other times you get the shaft.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, it's pretty. Yeah. Seen some bad shows. Well, you're listening to Ramblin' Rob and Taper Jesse, and and look, Randy DeMond, the man who's always hard, just walked in here.
Hardest man in radio.
Hardest man in radio.
Hardest man at WAIF.
Always playing the best in blues for you guys. He was hosting the show just previous, and he's been doing an excellent job, by the way. So I always listen to him on the way down here. I always enjoy his musical selections, and everyone who co-hosts the show, even though they stick to the genre of the blues format, they put their own little personal twist on it, which makes it cool.
But just once on my way in, I'd love to hear some canned heat.
Some canned heat.
If you're listening, Randy, Chuck, Joey.
Yeah, Joey Jojo Shabadoo. Junior.
Birdman.
Anybody. Play some canned heat, please. He'll pay you 11 cents.
11 shiny cents.
You can check out Ramblin' Rob on YouTube, also Facebook, and Ramblin' Rob's Greatest Story Ever Told official Facebook page. WAIF has a website that you can become a member on, keep us on the air, or you can check out our updated programming grid, get smartphone apps, Android apps, buy a t-shirt. You can do a lot of stuff. So go check it out. We've got some good stuff there. And I'm going to let Jesse here in just a minute or two tell you about some good stuff we have in Cincinnati and around the local area. Since we are a community radio station, we always let you guys know about good community organizations and things. And I'm sure he's got some hot ticket items in his hands here.
Yeah, they're burning my fingers.
Yeah,
Rob.
I can tell.
Burning my fingers.
Real quick, today in Grateful Dead history. First, though, 1968, the National Guard Armory, St. Louis. I hope that wasn't like something out of Spinal Tap when they played the National Guard Armory. Which it probably was. I heard one of them
none of the drummers died. So.
Well, I heard the Grateful Dead actually played an armory somewhere where that happened. They were getting bleed over from some communications, and that's where they got the idea for that. So, but they could have also got the idea of them getting lost. You never know. Let's see, 1969. This, I believe, was the very first show I played on my very first show on WAIF so many years ago. 5/24/1969, the Seminole Indian Village in West Hollywood, Florida. It was touted as the Big Rock Powwow, and it had I forget who was there, but it was a stellar lineup. And they played a real nice, tight one-disc set, like about an hour and something. Yeah. It was a good show, and so I started out playing that. 1970, Newcastle under Lyme. That was over in England on the Europe 72 tour, Hollywood Festival, and that was the first European performance for the guy. Or that was first European performance, and that had the Grateful Dead, I think Deep Purple, Jose Feliciano. It was kind of a weird American like Hollywood festival. It had Grateful Dead and pop. And kind of weird thing. And I think that's no, that was a Bickershaw Music Festival. They said it was probably the worst crowd they played ever.
I believe the Bickershaw Music Festival is where, if I recall the story, it's where Elvis Costello first saw the Grateful Dead and was inspired to start getting serious about writing music.
Oh, well, that's good, I think. Elvis Costello.
Elvis Costello's awesome.
Is he?
Oh, yeah.
I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence with Elvis Costello. Only because I took offense at something he said one time, and I was really offended by it when he said that rock and roll died when Led Zeppelin 1 came out. And, I was mad at that statement in general until I really thought about it, and pretty much he was right.
Well, yeah.
And, rock and roll was an eclectic thing, but after Led Zeppelin 1 came out and rock and roll transformed, almost Beatle-esque, where you one day sitting in a studio recording, the next day you get on a jet plane, you're going to a stadium full of screaming people. I mean, that was quite the thing. And then ever since then, I mean, like you said, kid picks up a guitar, either wants to be famous or he wants to get a woman.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
There's only a couple reasons
to change the musical integrity of mankind.
No matter how lofty you think you are now.
Right.
Yeah, you picked up that guitar for the
right.
chicks.
Exactly. Or the dudes. I mean,
Right. Well, yeah, true. There are some
whoever
good
you are,
female,
whatever you're into,
female musicians
right.
who've been in the studio.
Kristen Brooke. I turned I turned a corner and her CD fell out of the visor overhead and hit me in the middle of the forehead yesterday.
Well, maybe you should play some Tristan Brooke next
maybe
week
we
or
should
something.
Play some Tristan Brooke next.
I guess you got it. Yeah, wait, it's not in your forehead, so you must have it in your car. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Good. And speaking of good musicians, on July 15th at Stanley's Pub between 6 and 8 p.m., David Gans is coming in from California. It's a free show with Scott Carter. He's been in studio with, I think, sneaky guy, like 3 different bands: Hickory Robot, the Spook Floaters, the China Cats.
Yeah. He's been in here, I think, twice with China Cats.
Has he?
I believe we've had him in twice.
Yeah, so he's a good musician. You guys should check him out. It's only for a 2-hour window, though. So definitely check that out. Real quick, jam band headlines, and then I'm going to let Jesse talk, I swear. Real quick, in case you guys missed it, the Rolling Stones are actually on tour in Europe. It's so hard to believe. They're all such at an age where I figured they'd be retired and taking it easy and sitting on a beach and driving their Ferraris and,
They're probably so in debt to the record company at this point. You know, they say that's why Bob Dylan keeps touring, because he's so in debt to Columbia Records. He will have to tour until the day he dies.
Oh, man.
Or he will be completely just
Isn't today's
fiscally
birthday,
devastated.
too?
I think yesterday was.
Yesterday, somewhere. I was close. He's, I think, 77, I believe.
Yes, 77.
So, yeah, happy belated birthday, Bob. Also, interestingly enough, the Beastie Boys have a kind of biopic book coming out. So, I mean, that would be. I was just thinking the other day, like, I was in high school in 1987, and when License to Ill came out, it was like, you know, our generation Sgt. Pepper, in as much as like everybody was playing that like everywhere, like everybody loved the Beastie Boys when they first came out. And I was thinking in my head, like, I wonder how, you know, because the New York rap scene was in its infancy at that time when they came out, but it was fairly well established from a club scene. It wasn't. There was a couple recording artists doing rap, but it was kind of early, and I wondered what like the rap clubs and clubs where the Beastie Boys first started playing at thought of these guys, you know, just like a bunch, three white guys coming and just doing their own thing, and just like, what the heck?
I think they were pretty much okay with it because they came up in the scene. It wasn't like three white dudes just happened to show up.
Indiana.
Just happened to show up and say, "Hey, this is ours now."
Well, that's true, and I did see a couple interviews. I think MTV or someone had one of those like documentaries, pseudo documentaries, I guess you could say, and they interviewed different artists to talk about the artist. And several of the black rappers, like, you know, Jay-Z and some of these, you know, big names, quote unquote, they all said the exact same thing about the Beastie Boys, is we love the Beastie Boys because they're not doing rap. They are totally doing their own thing. It's almost like beyond description. I mean, it may be like influenced by rap or hip hop, but it's out there.
To tell you how influential License to Ill was, Eazy-E and Dr. Dre have both credited License to Ill for the impetus behind NWA and their sound and their approach to it. You know, they wanted to outdo the Beastie Boys. They wanted to out-Beastie Boy the Beastie Boys. Ice-T was the same way. A lot of Ice-T's early underground hard singles, he flat out said, I wanted to sound like the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, and they were kind of in your face.
Yeah.
Love the Beasties.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see, what's next here? One more headline in case you guys missed it. A new Pearl Jam album is soon to come out, so don't forget about that. Let's see, we're going to be featuring a lot more music, so I'm just going to read this last little bit here. This 420 bit of the day here, in case you guys missed it. On 9/24/1988, the Grateful Dead closed a 9-concert series at Madison Square Garden. It was a benefit show for Greenpeace and the Rainforest Action Network, and they were joined on stage by Bruce Hornsby, Suzanne Vega, Mick Taylor, Jack Cassidy, and Hall & Oates. The concerts over the 9 days grossed $3.768 million.
That's a lot of dollars.
Yeah, in 1988. And I played probably 4 years ago. I played the Grateful Dead and Hall & Oates playing together, doing I think Every Time You Go Away. The first and only time they played it. But yeah. I thought it was you ever heard it?
No.
That's
completely new to me.
I like Hall & Oates. The wife and I were just discussing Hall & Oates too. They were very influential in the sound of the 80s. They were kind of like John Denver in the 70s, where almost at any given time there was some Hall & Oates in the chart at some point in the 80s.
They just wrote good, solid songs.
And then they had the traditional Philly, doo-wop roots, and they, came up like kind of the Beastie Boys came up off the streets, singing on the streets on up. So. Yeah. Okay, well, we've done enough talking. Jesse, let you finish talking. I've done enough.
Oh, all right. Well, when you think of drug abuse amongst kids and teens, alcohol and marijuana probably come to mind first.
I do.
You do? You do?
They do. Right.
They do. Well, each year more young people are abusing another group of substances called
inhalants.
Dun, dun, dun. The abuse of inhalants is also called solvent abuse, huffing, glue sniffing, volatile substance abuse, or a terrible, terrible way to spend an
volatile substance abuse. Son, I've got something to talk to you about.
Just say no to the ready webcam, son.
You're abusing volatile substances.
Just say no to the duster.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, anyways, sorry. Inhalants can cause serious side effects like memory loss, death, and all kinds of other stuff.
That's serious.
Bad things, folks.
Right. So if your friend's walking around with like all kinds of silver spray paint on his cheeks and he doesn't have anything in the middle, he looks like a big silver target.
Take a picture.
Take a picture, post that online.
Right.
And then tell him to quit huffing paint.
Yes, because that's serious.
It is.
The picture's funny.
It is.
The huffing paint is serious.
Yeah,
Bad stuff.
It causes some serious brain damage, people.
Right, but it makes for an hilarious
Right, it does. It makes for funny family pictures. But
if you're a parent, become educated on inhalant abuse. The message from the American Academy of Pediatrics. I feel so bad for getting so off track that I should probably pick another one.
No, we're good.
No? Okay. I'd say, hey, as long as I have the official okay.
Everyone knows not to do it now.
Right. Don't do it, folks.
Mm-hmm.
However, you should explore the music on In Review with Steve every Tuesday evening from 10 to midnight. Join Steve as he features an ever-changing 2-hour music theme, celebrating the psychedelic sounds, the deeper cuts, and the best 60s obscurities not being played on mainstream radio. That's In Review every Tuesday at 10, playing the best music you never hear right here on WAIF 883 Cincinnati. I gotta be honest, I'm usually sleeping at that time, but I have a feeling that guy's probably a kindred spirit.
Mm-hmm.
He likes the weird stuff too, I bet you.
Yep, I agree.
And you should know the meaning of the outdoor warning signs.
Mm-hmm.
A steady tone indicates a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning during a tornado watch.
Gotcha.
A wavering tone. What is wavering, Rob? Can you give us an example of wavering?
I believe it's something along the lines of wave. Hey, hi, man. Hi. Yeah, that might be it.
That's wavering, folks.
Okay.
But a wavering tone indicates that there's a threat of enemy nuclear attack. So disregard that noise I just made. I wasn't trying to alarm anyone.
Yeah.
And the repeated sounds of the sirens indicate additional warnings are being issued. Radio or TV, that's us, will give the all clear.
Yeah.
And this message comes from the Hamilton County Emergency Management Agency.
Just
Taper Jess.
Yeah. And
Ramblin'
just for
Rob.
the record, if an enemy nuclear attack just happens to happen while we're on the air, Jesse and I will stay here the entire time and let you guys know when it's safe to come out of your caves and bunkers.
We'll do our best anyways. I mean, we could be wiped out.
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah.
We'll try to be here.
Definitely.
Let's rephrase it.
Well, I mean, like, you know, at some point, I'm sure you want to hold your breath. That air is going to be pretty bad for you for a little while.
Exactly. Well, we've got maybe a little bit later. No. We're not even going to be able to get to all the terrapin. Man.
All right. Well, you know what? Maybe we should just get to it.
Yeah, we should probably. Let's roll into, and then I do have, let's see here. I do have one tune I have to play first because I've been wanting to play this tune. I got sent this last week by Evett. He's used to be in that band down in West Virginia that we like so much. Who was it? But anyway, they were in studio, I believe, before you were here. But anyway, I forget. But they're not together anymore. But they came up to Stanley's a couple times and played. Anyway, he put together an album that was kind of Sasquatch themed. He's been messaging me, sending me songs over the last couple months as he's working on this album, and he finally got the album together. He said it's going to be released on SoundCloud May 1st. I haven't confirmed it because he sent me all these tracks, but you can check it out on SoundCloud. So we're going to try to check this tune out here. This tune is called let's see. We have Carl Hall on bass, Josh Oveby on guitar and audio, and Evett Sim on drums and audio. And this one is called Cryptological, and it's supposedly about Bigfoot, but we're just going to have to wait and see here. Not guaranteeing anything, but it's kind of creepy, man. All right. Okay, we're live. Had to wait till that got done. Couldn't just cut that off.
Live radio, folks. You don't get this on your canned FM stream.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for that last part, man. It was starting to really freak me out. You're listening to WAIF 88.3 FM. Your home for the Grateful Dead. Each and every Thursday, Taper Jesse and myself sit down and bring you guys what we like to call the best in Grateful Dead. We've got some live bands, regional acts. He brought in a treat, which unfortunately we're not going to get to, but next week.
Yes.
We have a...
Yes.
Someone, have we played this guy? We've played the group, but not him, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I'm not even going to, I'm keeping it a surprise. See?
Right.
So you like that.
Let's just say that we also bring you the best in psychedelic music.
Yeah.
Psychedelically informed music.
Yeah, some classic psychedelic
stuff that sounds good while you're smoking.
Right. And speaking of that, we do have to read more PSAs and promos and stuff like that for you guys. So Jesse's going to pick some out of our magic box of goodness here. We always try to let you guys know about good things. And speaking of good things, if you'd like to keep hearing Taper Jesse and myself, become a member, WAIF883.org. Also, underwriting is available. More information on the website. Also, updated programming grid, smartphone, and Android apps. So you can take us anywhere in the entire, well, I was going to say anywhere in the entire world, but only places you have a cell phone signal.
Right.
And let's see.
You're not censored by the government.
Right, not censored by the government.
Yes.
China, you might have
yes, China.
I did. What was it? 2 years ago, I think it was. I mailed out a button. Someone wrote and said, "I listen on." Well, actually, it might have been 3 years ago, back when we had live streaming.
Belarus.
It was Ukraine.
Oh yeah.
The Ukrainian listener. So I sent them a Ramblin' Rob button, and hopefully they're listening in. So yeah, a big shout out to the Ukraine. I might have an underground fan base.
Right.
Not sure what side of the Ukrainian war they were on when I sent the button.
The survivors?
Yeah. But yeah,
Hope you're still there, bro.
Yeah, hopefully. But hopefully the button got through the Russian security lines.
Right,
and some crazy Ukrainian farmer has a babushka on their head and a Ramblin' Rob button on their tunic.
Hopefully they didn't participate in ethnic cleansing.
I don't know what it says. Some crazy American stuff.
I don't read
I don't
English.
know. Fight the power.
Yeah, fight the power. Said Ramones. I left the Ramones.
88.3 was one of their best albums.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
Well, speaking of best albums, what do you got on the plate, Jesse?
Vegan Earth has the vegan potluck with the speaker the third Sunday of each month. All are welcome, and the gathering is free. For information about the group and their events, call 513-929-2500 or visit their website at www.veganearthus.org.
Appealing to a lot of people these days. Everybody seems to be wanting to go vegan.
I'd imagine it'd be a lot of people letting them know that, like letting everyone else know that indeed they are.
And you can also join Taper Jesse and myself at the Bacon Lover Society meetings every second Monday.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding.
Come by and literally chew the fat with us.
Right. I said we cooked up like an entire pound of bacon last night.
I smelled it.
And yeah, he came over. Nice guy Eddie's in studio. He came over and we just had a bacon fest between the three of us.
Yeah, we tend to cook up like large amounts of bacon in our household, thinking, "Oh, that'll be like breakfast for a week," and
right?
You know, and
it's
yeah. Like even the toddlers know to go to the fridge and which container has the bacon in it.
That's right. Getting some ice cream. Need to put some bacon on it.
Right. You need to
bacon up that sausage.
Exactly. You got to bacon up that bacon.
Okay.
Cool. The National Federation of Independent Businesses reminds you that it pays to shop at small businesses. When you shop at small businesses, you're supporting your friends, family, and you're supporting the community. Small businesses support our schools and charities, and they employ most of America's private sector workforce. Learn more at www.nfib.com. This message was brought to you by the National Federation of Independent Businesses and WAIF Cincinnati.
Cool.
And if you happen to be an independent business, you could
become independent.
You could underwrite on WAIF. Yeah, I mean, if you're a large business, you could too. But we offer very cost-friendly rates. Man, that was a horrible transition. I was trying to make that work.
Segway's a little rocky.
Right? Sometimes you fly, sometimes you fall.
That's right. Sometimes you get gold, sometimes you get the shaft.
Right, but you always get gold because we offer very cost-friendly rates here at WAIF. We can target your underwriting to any show that you choose. Call one of our underwriting experts today at 513-749-1444 or 513-961-8900 and find out how you can get your business information to our listeners. The cost of underwriting is very affordable. You can underwrite and still stay within your budget. Believe me, I could afford to underwrite on WAIF.
Won't cost you an arm and a leg.
That's how affordable it is.
And one of the reasons we are one of the premier community radio stations in America is because we have people like Randy DeMond, who hosts the blues show before this, and also the Midwest Surf Guy, who does the surf show on Saturdays. People like that who not only donate their time and energy and effort to put on an outstanding show, but also actually right now they're both working in the other studio doing some equipment things, and that's what it takes here at WAIF is for people to become involved at the station because we are a community radio station. We're all volunteers. We don't get paid squat. So always good to have people like you guys on the payroll, quote unquote payroll, and doing things. So yeah, big shout out to you guys. Anyway, let's get on with what I wanted to do like 40 minutes ago, but we talked a lot and I played a lot of other music. So we're going to just play it here in just about 59 seconds. We're going to be featuring the remastered version of Terrapin Station, the Grateful Dead's classic album that came out in 1977. Was that Lil George that did the production on it?
No, he did the production on Shakedown Street.
Shakedown? Who did the production on this?
Oh, it's
I know, it's on the tip of my tongue.
moment, but it's somebody that at the time was famous for making big produced albums and it's
right. And I heard the Grateful Dead laid their tracks down and kind of were semi-happy with everything, and he started messing around with it and adding some strings and harmonics and et cetera, and they weren't very big fans of that, but it was a deal was a deal, and I think he had the masters and he wouldn't give it back to them, and they rolled on with making it a record, and it is one of those weird, kind of like the Grateful Dead do all the time. Just a weird. It's almost not like, well, yeah, I could tell this is a Willie Nelson album. All of his stuff's kind of country-esque and sounds somewhat similar. They always had, jumps like Blues for Allah. That was a paradigm shift in what they were doing just previous to that.
Keith Olsen.
Okay,
Keith
there
Olsen.
you go. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, I don't think they like him.
But he's
mean.
He changed my music. Okay, well, this is the remastered version, part 1. Part 2 will be next week, kids, so don't forget to tune in each and every Thursday, and you get to check out some good Grateful Dead.
Thursday nights from 8 till 10, 88.3 Wave FM. Tune on in, yeah, and feed your head. Always awesome tunes and always Grateful Dead. Yeah, Ramblin' Rob, well, he's your host. Streaming on the web from coast to coast. Check it as you do shows of old. It's Ramblin' Rob's greatest story ever told.
My time coming any day. Don't worry about me, no. so long I felt this way, and time sure passing slow. Still I know I'll lead the way. They tell me where I go. And don't worry about me. Oh, no, no, don't worry about me, no. And I mean nobody. Oh, no, 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 I know where to go. California, a prophet on the burning shore. California, I'll be knocking on the golden door. Like an angel, standing in a shaft of light, and rising up to paradise. I know I'm gonna shine. Now you've all been asleep, you would not believe me. And then voices telling me you will soon receive me. You're standing on the beach, the sea will part before me. And you will follow me, and we will rise to glory. Way up the middle of the air. And I'll call down thunder and speak the same. And my word fills the sky with flame. And might and glory gonna be my name. And they gonna light my way. My time coming any day. Don't worry about me, no. Gonna be just like they say. Them voices tell me so. Seems so long I felt this way, and time sure passing slow. My time coming any day. Don't worry about me, no. Don't worry about me. No, no, don't worry about me, no. And I mean no hurry. Ah, no, no, don't worry about me, no. And I mean no hurry. Ah, no, no, Delilah was a woman, she was fine and fair. She had lovely looks and coal black hair. Delilah, she gained old Samson's mind. When first he saw this woman, she looked so fine. Delilah, she climbed up on old Samson's knee. Said, tell me where your strength lies, if you please. Then she spoke so kind, she talked so fair. Till Samson said, Delilah, you cut off my hair. You can shave my head, clean as my hand. My strength coming natural as any old man. If I had my way, if I had my way, if I had my way, I would tear this old building down. You read about Samson, all from his birth. He was the strongest man that has lived on earth. One day while Samson was walking along, looked down on the ground, he saw an old jawbone. And he stretched down his arm, got no chains, broke like threads. When he got to moving, 10,000 was dead. If I had my way, if I had my way, if I had my way, I would tear this old building down. Now Samson and Delilah, they got in a track. Samson, he crawled up on the lion's back. And you read about this lion, he killed a man with his paws. Samson got his hands up around that lion's jaws. And he ripped that beast, got killed him down. And the beast made honey in the lion's head. And if I had my way, if I had my way, if I had my way, I would tear this old building down. If I had my way, if I had my way, if I had my way, I would tear this old building down. I would tear this old building down.
Gazing at the fire, burning by the water. Before he speaks, the world around us quiets. With eyes as sharp as arrows, and turning to the fire. He clears the air and cuts it with a feather. Many in the circle told you I'll sing to them this story and know why. Let my inspiration flow in token rhyme, suggesting rhythm that will not forsake me till my tale is told and done. While the fire lights aglow, strange shadows from the flames will grow till things we've never seen will seem familiar. Shadows of the sailor forming, winds both foul and fair all swarm. Down in Carlisle he loved a lady many years ago. Here beside him stands a man, a soldier from the looks of him, who came through many fights but lost at love. While the storyteller speaks, a door within the fire creaks, suddenly flies open, and a girl is standing there. Eyes alight with glowing hair, all that fancy paints as fair. She takes her fan and throws it in the lion's den. Which of you to gain me tell will risk uncertain pains of hell? I will not forgive you if you will not take the chance. The sailor gave at least a try, the soldier being much too wise. Strategy was his strength and not disaster. Sailor coming out again, the lady fairly leapt at him. That's how it stands today. You decide if he was wise. Storyteller makes no choice. Soon you will not hear his voice. His job is to shed light and not to master. spiral light of Venus rising first, shining best. Oh, from the northwest corner of a brand new crescent moon, crickets and cicadas sing a rare and different tune. Terrapin Station in the shadow of the moon. Terrapin Mama said, don't go near that river. Won't be hanging around old Catfish John. Come the morning, I'd always be there, walking in his footsteps in the sweet Delta dawn. Take me back to another morning, a town so long ago, where the sweet magnolia blossoms, cotton fields were white as snow. Catfish John was a river hobo, lived and died by the river's bend. Looking back, I still remember I was proud to be his friend. Mama said, don't